Welcome back to Pick It and Flick It podcast. Halloween Extravaganza, part 3.
Part 3? Part 3? Just number 3.
Number 3, sorry.
Well, it's not broken down in parts. It's numbers.
Okay.
It's like seasons, except season 2 didn't even fucking happen.
Season 1 barely even happened.
We got halfway through it.
Yeah.
We're okay. So far.
Yeah. We're doing it.
Yeah, we're doing it. That's what matters. What do we watch?
I'm Natasha.
I was say, wait. I'm Vox.
And today we watched The Nun, 2018.
Ooh.
I can't believe this came out so long ago.
Well, when did The Conjuring come out? Because we watched that for the Halloween Extravaganza 1.
Like 2010?
Okay. You yawning is gonna rift this entire...
It's fine.
Because, are you bored with this movie?
Yes.
Because I was bored with this movie.
That's why I'm yawning when I'm talking about it.
Okay.
I thought like it had potential because The Nun was actually scary in the Conjuring movies. And that's why I think they took it to the next level.
Well, it's just like anything else with this fucking series. They beat it into the ground.
Well, no, but that's why I think that they took it to the next level to be like, here's the origin story of The Nun because Annabelle did so well.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, they beat it into the ground because how many Annabelle movies are there now? 3?
3, I think.
Yeah. And then how many Conjuring movies are there? 3.
3.
And then now there's...
technically 7.
Well, no. I'm saying like strictly the Conjuring because there's Conjuring and then Conjuring 2 and then The Devil Made Me Do It.
Which is the third.
And then there's this one, which is a prequel, which is the first movie in the series.
Yeah.
You know. And then supposedly there's another one coming out with another name. Where's Luke?
The poo poo pee pee man.
Yeah, Luke would know. I don't know. I don't know off the top of my head what the hell this.
I didn't know there was another one coming out.
It's like I want to call it like the ball cap man or something, but isn't that from?
Oh.
That's from Haunting a Hill House. Whatever the cap man is, whatever. For those who don't know, the Conjuring series is very expansive. And this is the first movie in the series. Basically, I'll break it down while Tasha's looking stuff up because I know she's that'll kill her if we don't figure it out. But this movie sets up the premise of how, like, the devil or the demon that is, like, kind of haunting... I think like the world at this point with the
series.
There's
nothing that's been announced.
Okay. Well, maybe it was just like a rumor or something.
Yeah. Anyways,
it basically explains like how the demon comes out and then how, the nun kind of encroaches its way into the rest of the world with this. And what?
Fix that. It looks like it's falling out of the wall. Other one. Thank you.
Okay.
I didn't want it to like start a fire or something stupid like that.
I don't think it would. This basically is a TV series, like pushed into one. First of all, it's only 90 minutes long.
Thank God.
Right? Yeah, thank God. Really.
It felt longer than that.
But I feel like that like it was just a TV episode. Like I feel like that was it. Let me crack open the notebook here. Because I did have a bit to write on this, surprisingly. And we'll start from what I said about like the moving of it. The pacing in this movie was actually nice. There was a lot happening, and there wasn't any lulls. Like
yeah,
it was
I
just
never
like
felt like I was like okay.
There was just story adding on. There was no like we're gonna travel, because the premise is as I said, how the demon comes out. So it focuses on a father. Who, and I guess father of a church, not a father of children, gets sent out to investigate a suicide of which happens by a nun to this castle, and takes a young, soon-to-be nun who hasn't taken her vows yet out with him. And why? Oh, because she has visions.
Right.
That's why, because they're like, oh, you're something special, so you got to come with us. And then... they go out on this wacky adventure. So, like, even when they go and meet one of the other characters in the movie, Frenchie, who is the gentleman who takes food to the castle for the nuns to eat every Tuesday or whatever it was, there was no, like, okay, what's happening?
Yeah.
You know, it was just like, okay, there's story. That's great. And I thought that was actually really refreshing, considering we had just watched Studio 666, which was fucking long.
Yeah, and it didn't have like a point.
Yeah, it was just like a rock and roll band doing rock and roll things. And I would even argue, you know, there was some lulls in Candyman, you know?
Yeah.
Like there was just some dips in the story. This wasn't, you know, with it being 90 minutes long, they really had to go. And there was even a point, and we'll get there, but there was even a point where I looked over to you and I was like, they better hurry up. This movie's running out.
You're like, they don't have enough time. It's almost over.
Because I knew we were approaching the 90-minute mark, and I'm like, we still have answers to get to here.
Yeah.
And we'll get there, but I wanted to start with the predictions because you and I were both shouting them out.
Yeah.
The entire time. And of course, every single one, I think besides one of them, was just like slapped right in our face.
Oh, yeah. This movie was very predictable.
You know, starting with, of course, the infamous Conjuring move of very loud and in-your-face scares, even though, like...
I had a jump scare tally. Like not times that there were jump scares in the movie, but times that I jumped because of a jump scare. Because not that I jump because I'm actually scared, but I jump because it's like...
Yeah, because it's loud and in your face. So my question for you, I was going to ask this too. Why did you do it for this movie and not of any of the other movies we watched?
Because The Conjuring, I feel like, is very big on jump scares.
And,
in general.
Yeah, I mean, I think we talked about this like, 2 years ago when we did Halloween Extravaganza 1 when we did our Conjuring review, which is up now on YouTube if you want to check it out. The premise of this style is just to be loud and in your face. And then I think Luke has even mentioned this, a couple of times, and I've gotten into it with him because he likes to poke the bear. They're very present with it's demonic.
Yeah.
It's satanic. We had the whole inverted cross thing happen multiple times in this movie. And, of course, they burst into flames and shit, which is absolutely ridiculous for me. And I don't need to beat a dead horse with that. But, like, come on.
What does this have to do with jump scares?
It's just the style of the movie, though. That's what I'm saying. It's
well, my thing is that the other movies that we've watched so far, I don't really feel like jump scare kind of movies.
Yeah, because Candyman didn't really have any.
Yeah.
And I guess the Purge definitely didn't have any.
The Purge did, but not like as much.
Yeah.
Like I knew I was expecting it out of this, and then I don't know.
I think The Nun is the first movie on this list so far to be a classified horror film.
Yeah. Well, if you're wondering, I have my jump scare tally was at 9.
So you jumped 9 times during this
Yeah.
movie? Wow. I want to know what that feels like.
Or no, sorry, 8.
8. Okay.
8 times. Sorry.
Still. I mean, I still want to know what that feels like because I don't jump.
I do all the time.
I know. I live with you. But I don't I don't jump at all. And I very rarely get startled or scared.
Oh, I do all the time.
I don't get scared a whole lot.
Yeah, I know. It's hard to scare you.
Yeah. So, that's interesting. Going on, and sorry to go on the tangent about the inverted crosses, that just rattles my chain. That was
I know, you just were like, and then you just started going.
I'm sorry. I'm a one-track mind. But that was one of my predictions, of course, in the beginning. It was like, oh, how soon before that cross gets flipped upside down? It wasn't 5 minutes, and we saw an inverted cross already.
Yeah. Well, I have a note on here when Frenchie is like leaving to go pick up the almost nun and the father.
Yeah, sister.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's goats. And I was like, I put goats equal devilish ?
Oh,
but
like
nothing,
Black Phillip almost.
Yeah, nothing ever came of the goats. So
No, I think he was just a farmer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there were a lot of goats. And then there was one that was tied up.
Oh, yeah. What a bitch.
Yeah.
He's feeding all these other goats, and then there's this one tied up in the back, like pulling on its chain, like, hey, I want some food.
Yeah.
Too.
It was like he was black.
Was he?
Yeah.
That's just racist. One of my other predictions was this is one that did not come true, but I said that the younger nun was going to be the one who becomes the nun, and she was the one who ended up committing suicide. But we both predicted. Well, I kind of jokingly said when she, the one who gets pulled into the demon door, she's like, you know what you have to do, and I literally just went, kill yourself, and then
and it was true.
She kills herself. And then I think.
Well, you were thinking that the sister was going to be Lorraine Warren.
Oh yeah,
because they look exactly alike.
Well, and you told me
because
yes.
They're sisters.
Yeah, and Luke didn't believe me.
What?
I mentioned to him today, I was like, we're watching The Nun, and he's like, oh, and that has what's-her-name's daughter in it. And I was like, no, that's her sister. And he's like, what? I was like, yeah, well, there's a 20-year age gap.
Well, when I first learned that they were related, I was like, oh, that's got to be her daughter.
Yeah.
And then I was like, no way. And it's her sister.
Yeah.
But they look so much alike.
Ridiculous. And they're both pretty.
They are, yeah.
So, like...
Well, I think Taissa?
Yeah.
Is that how you pronounce
Taissa?
it?
Yeah, it's Taissa. Taissa?
Taissa Farmiga?
Yeah, Farmiga.
She's got really nice skin.
Yeah, you said that during the movie.
Yeah, like she just
there's some close-ups.
Like porcelain, like just smooth-looking skin, and I'm sure like a lot of it has to do with makeup too. But I don't like. It's hard to make. It's hard to create that like soft of looking skin, and she's very natural.
I'm sure you're probably not wrong. There's probably makeup obviously involved, as there is with everything. But it looked, if I had to guess, just having a little bit of knowledge in the film and television area of the world, I bet it was light like powder. Like, there wasn't any cover up or anything on that.
Well, and like I've seen her in a bunch of stuff, and her sister Vera is Lorraine Warren. But I've seen Taissa. I hope that's
we're gonna say it. Yeah.
I've seen her in American Horror Story,
right?
And I really like her.
And we're
in
both
American
fans
Horror
of
Story.
that. Yeah, she's been in it. She hasn't been in all the seasons, but she's been in quite a few. Which I think, again, going with the style that this movie is, we're gonna have. It's like the chick from it's the old lady that's in all of the other movies about possession and stuff. What's the one where the guy goes to rescue his son in the demon world, and there's the red-faced demon?
Oh, Insidious?
Insidious. It's like the chick from Insidious. Once you get, like, cast...
Oh, yeah.
She's typecast. She's in all of these, like, horror-esque, possession-esque movies.
And it's hard. I feel like horror movies are hard because you have to find someone that's good that's not going to make it seem corny. Because... Yeah. Like, The Nun was not a good movie, but it didn't, like, she didn't make it seem corny.
No.
Yeah. She's a good actress.
She is a good actress.
She's very believable.
And Luke mentioned that the guy who plays the father is in something that he liked, too, and I can't remember off the top of my head what it was, but he's in something that he was like, oh, yeah, that's so-and-so, and it's a shame that he was in this movie instead of or... maybe something better. I'm not sure.
He's in The Grudge. Hateful Eight?
Oh, maybe. I can't remember.
Yeah, nothing that...
Who knows, but...
He's been in a lot, but nothing crazy.
Well,
Savages, that was a good movie.
Back
anyway.
on the Nun, of course, this is the first... We've been pretty good so far, but of course we're going to stray from the...
Yeah, this is the podcast where we talk about who we've seen in other movies.
Yes, and what they're from and where they started and who they're related to. But... so the other things that I said as far as like the pacing is that although story terrible, as far as the execution on it was nice. I don't know if, and this is my next note, is nuns are creepy, right? They just are.
Yeah.
Nuns are just fucking creepy.
Well, you have to be a specific type of person to be a nun.
Yeah.
And
mentally disabled.
No, I will not say that.
Mentally ill.
No.
Oh, okay.
Be nice. You have to have, there's a lot of self-control involved in it. Yeah. And you have to be like very uninterested in anything but
God.
Yeah.
Or your
Catholicism
religion. Yeah, because nuns are typically Catholic, right?
Yeah. I believe so.
Oh, shit. I don't know.
Correct us if we're wrong.
Yeah. I don't know. Here's my hot take. I think religion is a hoax, and that's just where I'll leave it. Because, I mean, even in this movie, it's like they go back And they're, first of all, this is the prequel, right? And then they go back even further for the prequel of the prequel for a minute and how this portal gets opened that's in the castle.
Yeah.
They go back to
and
the
that
Christian
was
Crusades.
terrible.
And it's like, okay, so this whole thing was started because some random monk guy was like, I'm going to summon the devil. But like, okay, Catholicism was barely being introduced into the world. And then all of a sudden there's just this boom of Satan worshipers. In real life and in the movie, it doesn't fucking make sense. Like, it doesn't make any sense. So this guy just all of a sudden, I'm going to put a ring on the floor and draw a pentagram in it and with blood. And then the Christian Crusades come through there and slaughter him and drip blood. Blood of Jesus into the. Do we need me? What's going on over there? But like, they just drip this blood into the hole.
Sorry.
Yeah, this is like ASMR podcast. We're all over the place tonight.
And a lot of things in this movie like seemed comical, and I don't think that they were supposed to be. Like when pretty much near the beginning of the movie, when Frenchie leaves the sister and the father, he leaves and goes home, and there's like a zombie chasing after him.
Oh yes.
And he's like going through
graveyard.
the crosses, and then he grabs one and is like, "Ee!" And it felt very comical.
The production value is terrible, and the story not the story, because the story was okay. The things that they put in there to make it a horror movie.
Yeah.
Was also terrible
because
the zombie. Oh,
awful.
Yeah, it was just
completely terrible. It was like they went to the local library. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah.
Go ahead.
They went to the local library and they were like, "What's free that we can use in our movie?" And that this movie probably had a high budget.
Oh, it
it's
did
a
not.
Conjuring
No way.
movie.
No way it had a high budget. It probably made a shitload, but it didn't have a high budget.
You don't think so?
No, hell no. These movies are notorious for their like mediocre budget.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, it should have had a higher budget then.
You're not wrong, but when you're making 10,000 of them at a time, like I guarantee if COVID didn't happen, we would have had an additional 2 or 3 Conjuring movies by now. Because mind you, they would have filmed them in 18, 19, 20, and then it would have been released in 21, 22, and 23.
Well, nothing was filmed in 19.
Well, I mean, I'm sure there was plans to start filming in 2020. That's what I'm saying. Is like there's plans to probably production-wise in 2020, but
who knows?
Regardless, I have a note I drew an arrow from me saying that the pacing is good all the way down, which I forgot about, to the spoke too soon portion of my notes, where I'm glad you brought up the zombie attack thing. When they start doing the whole hallucination thing with the sister, that is when I think the entire movie started to fall apart. And I think that's right when I kind of looked at you and was like, we got to go.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot going on here. Because they were stretching it out, and then they realized, oh, fuck, we can't make this a 2-hour film.
Right.
I guarantee that's what happened. Because this movie was probably 2 hours. And then in post-production, they're like, fuck.
They could have cut out other things, though.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Absolutely.
But I have a note on here that says zombie movie ?
Oh, don't give them any ideas.
No, like
demon zombies.
Yeah, zombie nuns.
Oh,
from outer space.
Well, that was the other thing I wanted to continue on, and I got sidetracked again. That nuns are creepy.
Yeah.
And all of the creepiness surrounding the nuns in this movie was really, I mean, the pinnacle of it. And I guess it should have been, right? Because it's The Nun. So, so
it should be about creepy nuns.
Yeah, right. But, the second the whole breakdown happens of none of these things were actually happening.
Yeah.
It's just all in her mind. And, her hallucinations are the ones that's, like, going to guide them to Jesus's blood that's been saved for 500 years in a wall.
Right, and it's still been there.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden there's flooding. The entire bottom of the church is just full of water.
Well, and I think that see, it's hard for me to argue this because I'm saying the hallucinations are terrible, right? But I think that that kind of made sense because as the story continued, we find out that the church was bombed during World War I, the German raids, and that's what reawakened the demon because they had to stop praying for a second, and then the portal opens back up. So I kind of think that like maybe they were walking around, it was an all hallucination, and then when they came to, there's flooding because there's holes in the roof.
Like
and
maybe it's been flooded the whole time.
Yeah, like so I don't know, and then that's kind of weird when you start getting into the what's real and what's not realm in movies.
Yeah.
But I don't want to continue to ramble too much longer as we've kind of gone all over the tracks. But
one thing I noticed too is Frenchie's accent just kept coming and going, and that's why I had that when we were predicting, I was like, okay, maybe he's Ed Warren, and they just changed their names. But then obviously, I mean, spoiler alert, near the end of the movie, or at the end of the movie, he is Ed and Lorraine's first exorcism, pretty much.
Yes, and that's because he gets touched by the nun. And then possessed. And that, okay, I'm glad you explained that to me because you didn't really explain that to me when the credits started to roll. And I was like, okay. I saw the little speech thing in a picture. And
What?
That's fine. Like, I didn't understand.
Oh, I thought you knew.
No, I didn't get it. Because I don't remember the first Conjuring. I mean, we watched it 2 years ago.
I was like, oh, you remember that? And you were like, huh? Yeah. I was like, yeah, that was in the first movie. You're like, oh, okay. And then
that was it.
I left to go to my niece's dance recital, but we didn't talk about it anymore.
that was it. So I'm glad you just explained that to me. Thank you.
But that's what did you recognize the woman in the audience that was watching the possession, or the exorcism?
No.
That's the mom from the first Conjuring movie.
Yeah, okay. Great.
That's why.
Thank you.
That's why they showed it. They were tying it all together.
I see. Because this movie only came out like 5 years after the fucking first Conjuring. 8 years after the first Conjuring movie.
I mean, I don't care.
Oh,
like,
Jesus.
no.
Well, no, I like them.
Oh, okay. I thought you were like, whoa, everyone can't remember.
No. I'm glad they do that. But my point is why are they making a prequel almost a decade after
because people were afraid of the nun. So they're like, let's make money on this because people think the nun is creepy.
I do want to say, side note too, I have a nun action figure, and it's way creepier than this movie is. And it glows in the dark.
Yeah,
it's very cool.
Well, now you just can't get Annabelle because
I'm getting Annabelle if it happens. If it's coming, I got to get it. I'll explain it so you don't have to. Here on Pick It and Flick It, we do 2 ratings. We say pick for a very good movie, you should go watch it, or flick, it's not that great. You're not going to miss anything if you don't watch it. And then just to add a little bit of sugar on top, we give a rating of 1 to 10 so you can figure out where we are. And it's not, I mean, it happens more often than not, so it's not uncommon that, I give a movie a lower score, but I say pick it because I feel like it's worth watching. So, who knows? But we don't know, just to make this clear, we don't know what we rated this movie. Because I don't know what you rated it. You don't know what I rated it. Because we're keeping it real up in here. We're gonna watch it and then we're gonna come record. So, Tasha, on a scale of 1 to 10, what did you give this bad boy?
A 2.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Wow. You gave it a 2.
Yeah.
Interesting. I gave it a 3.
Oh, what?
Yeah. Yeah, I gave it a 3. It was pretty bad.
Yeah. I think that if you want to watch all the Conjuring movies, like watch it, whatever.
Sure.
But other than that, like I wouldn't go out of my manager was asking me, she's like, I was saying that we watched a movie. She goes, what'd you watch? I'm like, The Nun. It was not worth it. Like, because unless you're talking to a horror movie fan, they're going to be like, they're not going to know.
Yeah. And so it's part of a big, obviously over sprawling.
Right. It's worth it to be in the whole universe. I think it would be a cool Hollywood Horror Nights.
Yeah. Well, Universal Horror Nights.
Well, yeah, but it's HHN. I think it's
Hollywood Horror Nights? Whatever.
Yeah, whatever. But I think it would be a good walkthrough. I think they had one.
Yeah, I think they did.
But I think that'd be interesting.
Regardless.
Did you pick it or flick it?
Oh, this is a big flick from me.
Yeah, same.
Big flick from me. Not worth watching. An hour and a half, not the worst thing, but just like you said, realistically, if you're going to watch the whole series, obviously this is part of it. But if you're just like, let's watch a horror movie, there's lots of other ones you can pick from.
Yeah, and this one is not the one.
Yeah, go watch Sleepaway Camp. You're welcome.
Yeah.
And I gave, obviously, if people are listening, I gave that one a pretty low score as well. So if you are, first of all, listening this long and you haven't subscribed already, make sure you do so. We are releasing one review, I was going to say movie, but one review every single day in October for the Halloween Extravaganza 3. Be sure to, follow along with us if you're interested. We have plenty of more, I'm sure, way worse movies than The Nun to come.
Oh, God.
And we'll go from there. Thanks for listening. We'll see you tomorrow.
Goodbye.